Hi, this is Victoria Longo with this week's Friday at 5. This week's topic was actually sent to me. Somebody had wanted to know my thoughts on an article that was published in GQ about how to cancel a date. And so I had read through this article, and it sounded like it was written by somebody who's fairly young. And it's basically shaming men in particular or anybody actually that cancels a date with less than 36 hours notice because of all the preparation that has to go into the date and everything that needs to be done in order to be ready for this date. And so I obviously have very different opinions about relationships and dating and have my program Relationships Reimagined for this reason, right? So I read through this article, and what stuck out to me most is how much emphasis was put on the other person, on the date, on the preparation for the date to like me, in stalking the date and looking up their Instagram and their history and their this and their that to see if there's anything unusual. And so everything is outside of ourselves, right? Everything is on that person. Are they going to like us? We have to have our hair perfect. We can't eat anything but a salad, because we're going to be bloated, and we have to get a good night's sleep, but we're too stressed about it. And so worried about what this other person's going to think about us. And I say, fuck that, right? My opinion is, and this is how I approach dating, after I had been in a relationship for 8.5 years that didn't work. I took about 2 years off to be on my own and to figure out what I wanted. And so when I was ready to date again, my approach was actually, are they good enough for me? So it wasn't ever I was worried about what I was going to eat. I ate what I liked because I was there to enjoy myself. And if they couldn't handle the fact that I wanted to eat, fried food, French fries, then they were not the right person for me. And so I used my dates as like an interview, I guess, to see, could this person actually give me what I was looking for in a relationship? So I didn't stress. And if somebody canceled a date and, it was last minute, and that did happen, then, if they didn't reschedule, I didn't follow up with them. I wasn't chasing them down. There was somebody else that is going to be there who wants to actually spend the time with me. And I don't need to waste my time convincing this one person to take the time out to schedule a date or to reschedule the date because they canceled. Now, things happen, life happens. And so if they're canceling the last minute and they're saying mentioned in the article, oh, my sister's in town and they want details, and they're shaming this person because they're a grown adult and they don't know how long their sister's staying, and they don't know this and they don't know that. I've actually had friends stay and there's no end date. There's no set, I'm going home this day. So I might not actually know whether they're leaving. So that's first of all. If you watch my video from last week about assumptions and expectations, the expectation is everybody's going to act the way that we do, and nobody does. Everybody is different. Some people, like me, I am going to Bali. Actually, you're getting this video while I am in Bali, but when I'm going to Bali, I'm literally booking my hotel a couple of days before. I might buy my airline tickets when I went to Colorado at the beginning of the month. I think I bought them 3 weeks before the trip because I wasn't sure if I was going to go. So I'm more of a last minute person. I'm not a very structured person. I'm not somebody that can plan out every detail. I don't do well under those circumstances in most cases. Now, there are exceptions, and there are, certain things that I do know. I knew about Bali. I know about a trip that I'm going on in November. I've got the tentative dates. Beyond that, I'm very much a wing it person. I am fine winging it, and it's gonna work out, and it always has. And, people are always warning me that, it's only because it hasn't worked out yet. And I don't believe that. I believe that the universe is here to support me, and the perfect place is always going to show up, and what's needed is always going to show up because I'm trusting in that. Okay, so a little bit of a tangent, side tangent, but going back to the article, this person was shamed because their sister was in town and they canceled the date last minute and all of these things, right? Whereas I would look at it as like, have fun with your sister. I'm making other plans. Now, I might not tell this person that I'm making other plans. I might just say like, hey, have fun. If you want to hang out again, let me know. But I'm not putting my value in somebody else's hands. And I'm not putting my worth in somebody else's hands. And to me, that's the way I interpret it, is if we're looking for validation for somebody else, if they're going to follow through on a date with us, if they're going to keep their commitment, and we have to do all of these things to make sure that we are good enough for them. No. That's looking outside ourselves, for our self-worth, where if we know and trust that things are going to work out for us, and that if somebody cancels, and even if it's last minute, and maybe we went through all this hassle to get ready, maybe there are, again, I'm more of a last minute person, but there are people who might 2 days before get their hair blown out and then go get a mani-pedi. All right, you're all dressed up, find somewhere else to go. Call your girlfriends, go out by yourself. I used to go to a lot of different concerts, and not many people liked this particular type of music. And I got tired of waiting around for somebody to want to hang out with me doing what I wanted to do. And what I decided is I only live once, and I've experienced a lot of death in my life. A lot of people have died. I just lost a lot of people. And so it's made me really appreciate that our time here is super short. And so I started looking at it like, if I do die tomorrow, if I don't wake up tomorrow, what would I want to do today? And in some cases, some of these shows, these people were legends. They had been performing, they were in their 70s and 80s, and they might not live till tomorrow. It's a miracle they lived this far. So I started going on my own to see it. And what would always happen is I'd meet somebody in line who was also there by themselves. We'd watch the show together. Some of those friendships stuck a little bit longer. Some of them, it was just that one, evening out, and we shook hands at the end of the night and said, enjoy, maybe I'll bump into you again. But I had a good time. And so if our focus is on feeling good, if we know that we are going to find somebody, and we have that confidence and that self-worth to know that that person is going to show up, and we don't have to put all our eggs in this one basket, in this one date, no matter how good they look superficially, there's no reason why we can't enjoy ourselves. And to me, it makes it so much less stressful over putting our worth out there on somebody else. It makes us responsible, and it makes us responsible for our happiness ultimately. And instead of crying over the fact that we had a blowout and we got our mani-pedi and now our date canceled and we have nothing to do and we're going to sit at home and eat ice cream because people suck and men suck and this sucks and that sucks, right? Like, oh my God, that's pathetic. And so get up and go out. Go enjoy yourself. Maybe you'll meet somebody while you're out and it's like, hey, thank God you canceled that date because I actually met somebody way more amazing. But, a lot of us don't look at it that way. We haven't been trained to look at it that way. We don't value ourselves. We put the value outside of ourselves, and seek that external justification and that external validation of that we are a good person, that we are worthwhile, that, all of these things. And I did that for a very, very, very long time. I've mentioned before in prior videos, I have had a huge issue with self-esteem. I've had a huge issue with self-worth. I really, for a long time, thought there was something fundamentally wrong with me. I didn't think I was attractive. I couldn't get a date. Went to prom by myself almost 2 years in a row because I couldn't find anybody to go with me. And so, it's something that I have struggled with. And so I say this from the perspective of I have been on both ends, right? I have been the one that has put a lot of time into the date to do all the right things to attract the right partner. And then, so they don't see the real me, so I can impress them. And I've been on the end of, you need to impress me. You need to show me that you're worth my time, because my time is valuable and I don't have a lot of it. And if I'm spending it with you, you better be worth it, right? And so that's a way different attitude. And it's not that I really think I'm better than anybody, but my time is valuable, as is somebody else's. So, it's healthier, I think, to put that on ourselves, because then we're also looking to see, is this person a match? Is this person worth spending more time with? Are we compatible? Do we have similar likes? And for me, I do a lot of wacky stuff. I've done energy healing, and I've done massage, and I do psychic readings, and different points in my life, I've focused on, these different careers. And so as I'm dating and I'm telling somebody, oh, when I had my energy healing practice, I tell people, oh, I do energy healing. And I had people be like, oh, you waste your time doing that? Do people actually believe that? Do I really, no matter how handsome this person, is, do I really want to be with somebody that, cuts me down that way? Initially, they don't believe in, what I do, and they mock me. Because does that feel good? No. Would it feel good over the long term? No. Just because this person's handsome and superficially they've got a good job and they look nice. No, that's not the match for me. And so I would do this on dates, and I would drop things and, bits and pieces to see what they could handle. Because I'm not going to throw it all in somebody's face all at once. Little by little, you get to know somebody, and you get to know, and this has gone across the board. Although I kind of more upfront now with just, this is who I am, and you can either, like it or not. And it's really irrelevant to me if you don't, you can go away. But for a while, I would take my time, having people get to know me so that they could, see what they could handle. And then, if it got to be too much, then I didn't have a third date, or, we just agreed to part ways. And there was a guy who, I really wanted to like. He was super sweet. Actually, there were two of them who were really super sweet. We went on a couple of dates, but then that chemistry piece was missing. And so, again, and I'm looking for that for me, because even though, they may have been attracted to me, I also need to feel that attraction, and I want to feel turned on. And if I can't get that, I might like you, but I'm not going to spend any more of my time with somebody that really is just a friend. And even though they're reliable and dependable, and all of those things, I'm not shopping for a refrigerator. I am actually looking for a partnership. So looking at dating that way, approaching it from, the power is within you. And this works whether you're man or, male or female, or whatever you want to choose that day, right? This really works because it's all about you and finding somebody that's a compliment to you. And I will say that, having done that and having, created the relationship that I have now from dating this way, it's been so worthwhile to me to have somebody who really, I don't think that there's anything that could be said or done right now to freak him out or change his mind. He's pretty much been through it all, seen seen me at my absolute worst, with, the losses that I've suffered, seen me have to build my life back up, and seen me at the top when I've had things successful and I'm celebrating, and seen me in my wackiest moments where I, to some people I might not be making any sense, but to me it makes total sense, and this is why I'm doing it. And, and just having somebody who, when I save my little 12 or 15 inch TV, 18 inch, I don't even know, it's a tiny TV that I found at my sister's house that we got when we were like 10 years old. Well, I would have been a little bit older, but, and him complaining like, what do we need this for? You know, it's sitting in storage. I'm like, in case I want to play my Duck Hunt Nintendo game, right? And because it doesn't work on new TVs. Somebody that doesn't argue and just gets that weirdness and that wackiness and that it doesn't make sense, but this is what I want, and he's going to support it, right? Having somebody that does that makes all the difference for me. And I'm not walking around on eggshells, and I actually even have more confidence than I did before because I know I have somebody that always has my back no matter what. And I think that is something that is super valuable and can't be replaced. So, and that everybody should have, because I think that that's what relationships can contribute. And now I have other people besides him who have my back no matter what, and who have also seen me in my worst and talked me through it. And so I've created more now outside that relationship, but I've also, you know, I've attracted those people in, and I'm giving as much back to them as I'm getting from the relationship. But it all starts, you know, it all started with me and with knowing that I was worthy of having people like that in my life. So that was my thoughts on the article. You know, if you want to find it, it was basically how to not get hexed by canceling a date, something like that. And maybe it was meant to be a silly article, but somebody sent it to me, wanted to know my thoughts, and so there you go. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please be sure to like it. Please subscribe to my channel so that you get notified when new videos are released. And if you'd like to work together more on even building your confidence, I have my program called Relationships Reimagined. We can work together that way to you know, get you to the space where you really know that anything's possible because you're you and because you're here. And it's an amazing space to be in. So if you want to delve more into that, my email is victoria@victorialongo.net. Otherwise, I will see you next week with a new video. I actually don't have a topic yet, so if there, it'll be a surprise. I've got a lot of changes going on. Be sure to tune in next week and have a great weekend.